Hello people of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel and I'm an artist. I build a lot of 3D metal models and show you how I do it. And welcome to the review for the Legends Starscream metal model build from Metal Earth. And this is my third Legends model, well not third Legends model, but third Transformers Legends model to date. I've built quite a few of the Legends models, all of the originals, all of the superhero ones. A couple of Transformers ones already, and a couple of the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes, not Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes, but the Looney Tunes models. And it's been an interesting evolution, and this is where we are right now, and I think this is a very good direction. Like I said, I've already built a couple of the Transformers models. There's a lot of similarity, especially in the legs, the way these come together compared to the Guardians of the Galaxy ones. When the Legends models first came out, the legs were a bit difficult to get shaped right and put together. The original sets that came out were all of one style and very glossy metal, and then later on they came out with the Guardians of the Galaxy ones, and those had more of a semi-gloss finish to it, which I think looked better, and they redesigned the way the legs come together, which made them a lot easier to build, and I really like that new design. And that design carries over into this particular model. The way the legs come together are very similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy model. A lot easier, simpler to understand and put together. But what they have done with the Transformers models is they've added a lot of detail. Now the original Legends models, there was a lot of questions about how well they looked. A lot of people didn't like them. Didn't like that squared boxy look, and I get that. I thought they were kind of neat, but not everybody agrees. The Transformers models really work well in a Legends design, and this is not a terribly hard model to put together. It's on the easier side, not super easy. It's a little more challenging than other Legends models, but a lot easier than a lot of other models that Metal Earth has come out with. And it's a lot of fun to put this together. And they've added a lot of detail with like the guns, and this particular model has these wings on the back and the headpiece, and it's just little bits of fins here and there, and it gives it so much more depth to the model, and that sort of boxy look works really well with the Generation 1 Transformers, at least the G1 Transformers, but it really works well with the machine, with the Transformers, with a mechanical look. That boxy look really fits in, and I think this one, as well as the other Transformers I built, are really awesome. And this is about as difficult as the other two that I've built, with one exception. This back part is a little trickier to do. Not terrible. The first time I looked at it, actually I looked at Bumblebee, which has doors on the back in a very similar fashion the way these attach. Bumblebee didn't go so well, so it's going to be a little while before I finish Bumblebee, because I've got to get some replacement parts. First looked at it, it confused me, but once I understood it, it's not that much. It's not hard. Not hard to do, just a different approach, and that was the biggest difference for me. Otherwise, it took me about an hour to put him together, so not that long, longer than the original Legends models that came out, which some of those, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe even a little bit less, 20, varied. But they are a little bit more difficult than the original Legends models. In some aspects, there's more detail, but they're easier, to my mind, as far as the legs than some of the originals. So it's, it bumps it up to an hour to build this, but still not that bad for the size of it and the amount of detail that you get. Really, really, really neat. Really, really cool model. I'm really enjoying it, and I look forward to building more. A few things I do want to point out if you're building this model for yourself. When it comes to constructing the arms, they have a little bit of an angle to where he's kind of hands are angled forward. He's got a little bit of a bend in the elbow, and there's a tab right in here on both sides. When you connect that part, that tab's not going to want to push all the way through. For me, it helped to have some precision tweezers to work into that area and kind of work the tab and bend it as it was pushing in to get it out of its own way, to bend that part over to get the two sides together. So that's one little note I want to throw out there. Most of the connections on the arms of this particular model are made so that you really can't get them backwards. There's a 3-tab design, so that it only connects one way. One exception to that is the fists. There is a connection on the fist where you can put them all backwards, so do pay some attention. Either look ahead or pay attention to how things are aligned when you're putting them together in the instructions. The plate that the hand attaches to will show where the 3 slots are oriented to make sure you orient them the same way when you attach the fist. It's not perfectly clear, so look ahead on the build or a picture of the model and see how it comes together and get an idea of which way to face it so that, you know, the fists are actually facing the right way. And I said there was a couple of things I wanted to add. I actually want to say 3 things with part 17 and 18, the kind of wings that go on the back. When you fold those in half, don't fold them so that the 2 halves are completely touching. Leave a little bit of a gap. That will help the tabs line up to attach onto the back. Beyond that, the leg design, I've already mentioned it. It's very much like the Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've done those particular models, Legends models, then you know how this goes. Basically, it's all one piece, and you fold up the toes. You kind of wrap one side around, and as you wrap it around, you stick the tab on one side of the foot or toes into its spot, slide it down or fold it down. The other side wraps up, that slot goes into the side of that foot, folds down, and then you have sort of the back side that folds over and connects, and you put a little angle in one of the sides of the leg, and then once you've gotten that, the whole leg folds around onto the front side and connects. It's really, once you see it, it's really not hard to do at all. And with those 3 little notes, the rest of it should be pretty easy to put together. Just pay attention to the bends and folds and follow the directions and slowly piece this thing together. And don't do like me and forget to put the arms on and put the head on without having any arms, because if you watch my build video, and there's a separate video for the build, you'll see that I made that silly little mistake. And honestly, I think that's one of my strengths. Is if it isn't for finding and making the mistakes, I wouldn't be here to warn you from them, warn you away from them, and show you how to do them properly. That's just kind of one of the things that I feel I do. Really enjoying these Legends Transformers models. Like I've said before, there's a lot of mixed emotions and feelings about the original Legends, but with the Transformers, I think you've hit it spot on, Metal Earth. Well done. Good job with this. Really liking the extra detail you've packed in there. Really makes these stand out. Awesome. And I do want to thank Metal Earth for sending me this particular model to review and build, or build and review, you know, however you want to look at it. They did send this to me for a review, and I'm, giving you my honest review. They didn't ask me or tell me what to say. I really am enjoying this particular model and these Transformers models. So thank you very much for giving me the chance to do this review. I'll leave it at that. Again, thank you to Fascinations and Metal Earth for sending me the models to review. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting me in this channel. A little bit goes a long way, and what you give helps me to get these models and pay the bills in the background and keep going with this hobby. You basically are paying me to enjoy my hobby, film it, and share it with you. So thank you very much. For more information about my Patreon, there's a link in the description down below and at the very end of this video. Leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and keep it on.